Let me paint you a picture. Me, a few years ago, doing the same exercises every single week and wondering why my body looked exactly the same as it did 6 months before. Flat bench, barbell curl, lat pull down. Repeat until bored. Repeat again. I was consistent, I was working hard, and I was going absolutely nowhere. Then I made 5 swaps. Nothing complicated, nothing that required a sports science degree or a second mortgage, just 5 exercises I actually started taking seriously. And I am not being dramatic when I say this changed everything. You don't need 20 exercises, you need 5 done well. So here they are, the 5 exercises that blew up my physique, why each one actually works, and the mistakes I made for an embarrassingly long time before I figured it out. The secret to looking wider isn't more chest, it's bigger side delts. I spent years trying to look broader by doing more chest work. My chest got decent. My shoulders stayed embarrassingly narrow. I looked like a traffic cone, wide at the bottom, pointy at the top. Not the vibe. Your lateral deltoid is the single biggest factor in how wide you look from the front. Bigger side delts make your waist look smaller, your shoulders broader, and your whole physique more developed. And the best way to train them is not the dumbbell raise everyone defaults to. When the dumbbell hangs by your side, there is almost zero tension on the lateral delt. You are missing the bottom third of every rep. The cable fixes this because it pulls at an angle, meaning your side delt is under tension from the very start of the movement all the way through. Full range tension. That is what builds muscle. Set the pulley at the lowest position, stand side on, and reach across your body with the working hand so your arm crosses slightly in front of your torso. This pre-stretches the lateral delt before the rep even begins. Lead with your elbow, raise until your arm is parallel to the floor, then lower slowly over 2 to 3 seconds. If your shoulders aren't growing, you're probably rushing your reps. If you are swaying to get the weight up, the weight is too heavy and your ego is doing the exercise rather than your shoulder. Drop it down. 3 sets of 10. Your shoulders will never forgive you, and that is exactly the point. Most people don't need more flat bench. Flat bench loads the lower and outer portion of your chest. Those areas develop fairly easily. The upper chest, the part that gives you that full 3-dimensional look from every angle, gets almost completely ignored. That is why people who have benched for years can still have a chest that looks flat from certain angles. The upper pec is basically on an extended holiday. This built my chest faster than bench press ever did. Incline dumbbell press fixes that directly. And using dumbbells specifically means your hands can travel slightly inward at the top, which increases the peak contraction across the chest in a way a barbell simply cannot replicate. Set the bench between 30 and 45 degrees. Below 30, and you might as well be flat pressing. Above 45, and your front delts take over and your chest is basically just watching. Retract your shoulder blades before pressing and keep them pinned back for every rep. Press up and slightly inward, stop just short of lockout, then lower slowly over 3 full seconds and feel the upper chest stretch at the bottom. Do not cut the range short. That deep stretch is where the growth lives. 4 sets of 8 to 10. People call this easy because they've never pushed it hard enough. The leg press. The most disrespected machine in the gym. People load it with every plate they can find, do a quarter rep that barely moves the sled, and then tell their friends they leg pressed 400 kilos. Truly one of the great works of fiction. Done properly, the leg press is an absolute weapon for building your quads, hamstrings, and glutes without loading your spine. The reason most people get no results from it is because they treat it like a strength test rather than a muscle-building tool. Too much weight, too little range of motion, bouncing the sled off the bottom like a trampoline. That is not training. That is just moving a large piece of metal around for entertainment. Feet shoulder-width apart, mid-height on the platform. Lower the sled slowly until your knees are close to your chest and your lower back stays flat against the pad. Do not let your lower back curl off the seat. Drive back up through your whole foot and stop just short of locking your knees out to keep the quads under constant tension. 3 to 4 seconds on the way down. Drop the ego, drop the weight, go deep, and actually push the last few reps. The discomfort at the end of a properly done set is exactly what you came for. You don't need fancy back workouts. Let me introduce you to the exercise that made my back grow faster than anything else I had ever tried. And it has a name that sounds like a children's TV show character. Seal rows. Do not let that put you off. This movement is one of the most brutally effective back exercises in existence, and almost nobody in your gym is doing it. Here is the problem with most rowing exercises. The moment the weight gets challenging, your body finds a way to cheat. Your hips drive it, your lower back takes over, and you have turned a back exercise into a full-body heave that your lats barely noticed. The seal row makes cheating physically impossible. You lie face down on a raised bench, your chest is fully supported, and there is nowhere for the momentum to come from. Your back does every single rep from start to finish with zero help from anything else. When cheating is impossible, growth becomes inevitable. Getting brutally strong at this will grow your back. You need a bench elevated on blocks high enough that the dumbbells hang freely below without touching the floor. Lie face down with your chest at the edge, a dumbbell in each hand hanging straight down. Retract your shoulder blades downward before pulling anything. Then row both dumbbells up by driving your elbows back and squeezing your shoulder blades hard at the top for a full second. Lower slowly over 3 seconds and let your arms hang completely at the bottom to get the full stretch across your lats before the next rep. That full hang is what makes seal rows so effective. Your lats are being loaded in their most lengthened position, which produces significantly more muscle growth than training in a shortened position. Most rows never give you that stretch because your body position cuts the range short. Seal rows have nowhere to hide. 4 sets of 10 to 12. We have arrived at the exercise that everyone knows they should be doing and approximately half the gym population is actively avoiding, but nothing built my V-taper faster. I get it. They are hard. They are humbling. Getting to the bar and discovering you can do exactly 1.5 pull-ups is not a great feeling. But that discomfort is precisely why they work so well. If you can't do pull-ups, that should be your goal. Pull-ups are the single best exercise for building lat width and that V-taper shape that makes your waist look smaller and your back look like it has serious intentions. Where seal rows build thickness horizontally, pull-ups build width vertically. Together, they are the complete back package, and pull-ups force every stabilizer muscle to show up because you are moving your entire body through space. There is nowhere to hide. Can't do pull-ups yet? Start with dead hangs to build grip and shoulder stability. Then, progress to negatives. Jump to the top position with your chin over the bar and lower yourself as slowly as you can. 5 full seconds on the way down. Do sets of 3 to 5 negatives, and within weeks, you will be doing your first real rep. Once you can do pull-ups, no kipping, no swinging, no using momentum to cheat the rep. Pull your chest to the bar, pause at the top, lower with control. Hit 10 clean reps, add weight. Track it, beat it next week, and just repeat. 4 sets of as many controlled reps as you can manage. Cable lateral raises for shoulders that actually look wide. Incline dumbbell press for a chest that looks good from every angle. Leg press done properly for legs that don't collapse after a real set. Seal rows because cheating is physically impossible and your back will grow whether it likes it or not. And pull-ups because nothing builds a V-taper faster. 5 exercises, not 50. Not a new program every week. Just 5 movements, done consistently, done properly, done progressively heavier for long enough to actually work. That is what changed everything for me. Go do them, and try not to be too smug about it when people start asking what you changed.